Welcome to another RSR. Tonight we're reviewing Sporting Kansas City 2, St. Louis City SC 0, MLS 2025 Week 7. A game we normally do on Sunday is Saturday. They flipped the whole weekend on me. Sporting Kansas City gets their first win in their first game since the firing of Peter Vermes. He was there for 16 years. And game one of a new era, they win, which is a new manager bounce. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised. But they had a lot of fight. They wanted it more. They wanted to make a statement, and they did. They won at home. They defended their house. And a start of a new era is a pretty good start for Sporting Kansas City. St. Louis City SC couldn't get it done tonight. They doubled their goals allowed total in one night. 2 goals allowed tonight, makes it 4 all year. They couldn't score any. They had their moments, but in the end, Kansas City were just good enough and just clinical enough to win this match. Halftime, 0-0. I think St. Louis were slightly the better team at the half. Kansas City, again, pushed forward, had their moments. But St. Louis missed some really good chances that they could have put away. Kansas City did as well, but I think St. Louis were better at having chances that they couldn't put away. And St. Louis would regret that. Hell, they were that way the whole game. John Polskamp had to make a lot of saves. He really did. Showed up as their true number one now that Tim Melia retired. There's nobody there but John Polskamp. And you know what? He had a man-of-the-match performance. If not for Dejan Joveljic scoring a brace. 72 minutes. Ball falls to Dejan Joveljic. They play it through. He makes a run. He has all this room. Ben Lunt way off his line. You can't do that. Dejan Joveljic slots it home 1-0. And then in the 88th minute, rebound falls to Dejan Joveljic after a crossbarred shot. Ben Lunt drops way too late. Dejan Joveljic pots it home to the far side of the net. 2-0. Dejan Joveljic, man of the match. 2 goals. A perfect Dejan Joveljic performance. What you would expect from him. By the way, guess what? It sent LA Galaxy to the bottom of the table completely. This 2-goal performance and win for Sporting Kansas City and a Dejan Joveljic 2-goal performance sends Kansas City to the bottom of the table. They're lower than Toronto and Montreal. So even if Toronto loses tomorrow, they'll still, well, I don't know about that. But either way, full-time 2-0. Stop the count, by the way. Either way, 2-0. Kansas City wins. They get their win, the one they deserve. If I'm a Kansas City fan, I'm over the moon. Full-time stats, 11 shots to 11, 7 shots on goal to 4, 51% possession to 49% possession, 463 pass to 441, 83% pass accuracy to 82, 11 fouls to 14, 2 offside to 1, 1 yellow card to 2, 0 red cards to 0, 3 corners to 4. Kansas City, they did their job. Kansas City had a lot of fight. They had a lot of heart. They wanted to make a statement. They wanted to make a statement for Kansas City. They have not been this fluid since they beat St. Louis in the playoffs. That was the end, the true end of an era in Kansas City was that playoff run. Ever since then, it's been horrible for them. And they had to make a change, and they finally made it. I'm honestly surprised that they fired Peter Vermes. I am surprised that he's gone. 16 years. 2009. 16 years. I lived longer with Peter Vermes as a manager than before for Kansas City. And they were an OG team. They were an OG team. 5 years of their history, I was not alive. 9 years of their history that I was alive without Vermes, and 16 years with him. 9 years in one day. 16 years with him. Damn, I can't believe they got rid of him. It was time, but I can't believe I had the balls to do it. I can't believe they actually did it. That man had so much power, they freaking threw him on his ass. Mutual It was mutual terms bullshit. He needed to go. Gone. And when I say 16 years, it's as a coach. Because he was a player there as well, by the way. By the way, he was a player there for a long time. So I'm just saying as a coach. Historically, he was really always there. And now he's not. Man, it's crazy. But they wanted to make a point. This Kansas City team wanted to make a point. And St. Louis still can't finish. I don't know what it is. Defensively, solid. Offensively, they have players to finish, so it's weird because, at least for Toronto, until Dominguez, their offense sucked. There's nobody on that fort. Well, Bernadeschi. But he ain't taken over MLS by any shred of the imagination. He's had his moments, but you have Marcel Hartel, looked amazing during the summer last year. You have João Klaus, took over the league. Fallen off since he got hurt. Leuven, when he plays. Toykert, when he plays. Pompeu. Like, the forward players St. Louis has, you know they're good. You know they could take over a game, and they haven't really taken over anything so far with Mellberg as manager. It's wild. Defensively, I think they're solid. Yeah, they make mistakes. And yeah, they're better with Berkey than Lunt, which that definitely helped Kansas City tonight, was Ben Lunt's in goal. But he's not bad. He's not Roman Berkey, but he ain't bad. Kansas City knew how to set up and get this win. And they wanted this win more than St. Louis did. And they got it. I got to give it to Kansas City. They wanted this big. They wanted this bad. They had to make a point, and they did make a point. That's exactly what this game is. Kansas City did their job. Simple. It's that simple. Kansas City did their job. St. Louis didn't. It was a rivalry game. That's enough. New manager bounce. Kansas City was going to win this game. Let's be real. It was going to be crazy if St. Louis could get a draw or win. And I thought they could on paper, but then you fire Vermees and a rivalry on top of that at Kansas City. Yeah, this was always a hard mountain to climb. But St. Louis, they had their moments tonight, but offensively, it's just weird that I expect better from Hartel, from Klaus, from Pompeu, from Ostrak. I respect this offense, and I expect more from this offense. And it doesn't happen. It hasn't happened. This team, it's weird. They're better than last year. They're not as good as 2023, but that's hard to do. They're better than last year, but they're not. Like, they're a playoff contending team, in my book. But they're Jekyll and Hyde. Hell, they had a really good game against LA Galaxy. Kansas City's not as good as the Galaxy. Well, they're above them this year, but on paper, you know. Like, St. Louis should be better, especially offensively. Defensively, they're solid, but offensively, it's weird. It's weird. And I'm not too damn sure what's going on. Talent, they should be great. Performances aren't there. On paper, actual performances aren't there. On paper, they should be great. So I'm not too sure. I like the way they're playing, but some of these recent results are like, dude, I'm scratching my head. Like LA Galaxy, beating them's great. You beat the defending MLS Cup champs, but a lot of teams have done that this year. A lot of teams have. But that's the type of St. Louis I expect, is that performance. But it's just not there. But Kansas City was honestly supposed to win this match. With everything adding up, they were supposed to win this match, and they did. And I'm not mad about it at all. I'm happy for them. I hope this grows into something for the rest of the year. I want to see Kansas City find a way. I do. Because I know they have talent. Now, can they find a way? And tonight, they have. We'll see what happens later. But with that being said, St. Louis, it's just, something's weird. I'm not saying bad, but something's weird. Is all I'm saying. With that being said, if you like this video, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell your friends. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification once subscribed. Send some chats on the live streams. Comment on this video. Put this in playlist. Share with friends and family. all this great stuff. I'll see you tomorrow for a live watch-along and review of Inter Miami versus Toronto FC on Domingo Futbolero, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. I'll see you tomorrow. Toronto plays Sunday for some reason this weekend. That's what I was referencing. They flipped the weekend on me. We'll see you tomorrow, though. I'm Ryan, and I'm out. Peace. See you.